Whoa. Oh, no, 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 no. It's just me. It's me. I hope that when I put that mask on, it's not too scary. Some people don't like masks because they are scary. And so actually, I'm not going to hold this mask up here all the time while I talk. I just put it there because I was thinking about some times that I may have really been scared. And sometimes that involves these things with masks on. So I hope that wasn't too scary for you. But can you think of a time that you were really, really scared? Well, I have heard some people say that they have been scared to death. Have you ever been that scared that you can say you were scared to death? Well, I guess that people really that say that aren't weren't really scared to death because they were still alive when they said it, right? Yeah. So they weren't really it didn't cause them to die, but it was like a very frightening thing. So using the phrase scared to death is one way of saying that you were very, very severely frightened or worried, so much that you could have died from it. Some people may say, like, I was scared to death when I thought I heard footsteps in the staircase when no one was home. Ooh, ah. Or we even can say that when we're experiencing something in life, like I was scared to death that my health tests are going to come back positive for cancer. That can be a very scary thing, and people may say they're scared to death of what the results are going to be. What does it mean that you are scared to death? Well, I suppose that there may have been some people in history who have been so scared that they might have had a heart attack because they were so frightened and then they died. And so there is some credence to say, I have been scared to death, or that person was scared to death. And there are people who are also scared of death, scared to die. The phobias that we have, there's a name for the fear of death, and it is thanatophobia. Thanatophobia is the fear of death or the fear of the dying process. Now, it's natural for someone to worry about their own health as they age. I do. I get concerned about will I become somebody that will my health cause it that people need to take care of me? What if I'm not able to take care of myself? Those are things that can be a fear. Now, I try not to let that overwhelm me, but it is a concern. It's also common for someone to worry about friends and family and who's going to care for them after we have died. This is all a common experience. I hope that you know that if you experience these thoughts and fears that you're not alone. We have all felt sad when someone we know or love dies. And we all miss people who have died. Now sometimes when we think of our own death, and we are human, our bodies wear out, our hearts stop working, and that is when we die, and that is a part of life. A reality of life is the reality of death. And sometimes when we think of our own death, we might become scared or a bit fearful, and it's often because we really don't know what exactly happens when someone dies. As believers in Jesus, we live with faith. We live with faith knowing that God, through Jesus, has promised us eternal life. There's a few things Jesus said. One was Matthew chapter 10, verse 28, where he said, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body and can't kill the soul. Instead, be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body." So he's saying, you know what, our bodies may go away, but your souls need to be safe with God, and their souls will not die. Jesus also said in John 11:25, I remember he was talking to Mary and Martha, and he said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will live, even if they die." So we have been promised that life eternal through Jesus. Now, we're not altogether sure what it's going to look like, but we know it's there, and that is a great thing. We've also been promised God's presence with us when we are scared of death. Psalm 23:4, you might know this one. "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death," or some translations say the darkest valley, "I will not be afraid, for you are with me. Your shepherd's rod and staff comfort me." And we have been given some very good pictures of what the future will be like for us when we are with God, in our bodies that have surpassed death, no longer scared of death. Revelation 21:4, he says, he will wipe away every tear from their eye. There will be no more death. There will be no more sadness. There will be no more crying and pain. Things are no longer the way they used to be. And that is our promise of eternal life, of a new heaven and a new earth. And we are looking forward to that day. And so, even though I may be a bit fearful at times of what it means to die, I look forward to that. And that helps me, as I've watched my parents and other people die, know that they are looking forward to that next step. And it's like, wow, there's a bit of excitement about that, you know? Not so much fear as, I wonder what that's going to be like. Well, I hope that you are never scared to death of something. I hope that you can confront some of your fears, and that you can be brave and not be scared to death. But as you think of death, don't be scared of that either. You know, Psalm 34:4 says, I looked to the Lord and he answered me. He saved me from everything I was afraid of. Let's give our fears of everything that we have, and even though it doesn't say we won't experience them anymore, if we give them to God, he will help us through these times. So God, I give you my fear of next year. I give you my fear of my car breaking down. I give you my fear of saying goodbye to some of my friends to death. I give you my fear of dying myself. I don't want to be scared to death. So I give you my fear, God, and I hope that you can do that too. Have a day filled with joy and a day filled with peace.